As the Bifrost team starts making its way into Marvel Strike Force, them combined with the rest of the Asgardians we already have makes for a lot of theory crafting and potential on how to get the best use out of these characters in multiple game modes. And this is going to help everybody, whether you're brand new or you're coming in at the late game. Let's just take a peek at some of the perks that we got at our disposal, see if we can figure out some crafty ways to use these individuals. Of course, we have the Mystic Raid team, right? The Bifrost is coming in as a Mystic Raid team. So if you're 2, maybe 3-ish months into the game, you should be in prime position to collect these characters through the month-long event that's upcoming. So you have a great team that helps you in Ultimas. You got the Mystic section dialed in for Doom when you're able to make the jump there. And obviously at the end game, Incursion. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I struggle on the Mystic section and Incursion, so this will help me solo my part, and then all of us can just focus on tech at the end. Let's also be mindful of the fact that 4 of the Asgardians are villains, right? Between Sif, Loki, Kid Loki, Sylvie. That's 4 villains. And newer players need those to get through certain campaign areas. You can use them in lower levels of the Scourges, right? Anything that's calling out villains, some of the lower levels of some of the raids that might be calling out villains. Again, you can do that. And you go ahead and solo that area, right? You can do it on auto probably. We'll see. We'll see what the synergy of these individuals bring. Maybe you can just auto your way through some of that villain section. Always need some more good villains, and they're giving us a few more with the Bifrost team. 3 of these villains are Mystic villain controllers. So again, for newer players, here's 3 people that you might not feel so bad about, right? To get Phoenix. You don't have to, right? She's not as meta breaking, but you want to unlock all the characters that you can. And so here's a couple characters that you wouldn't feel bad about investing in, right? Teen Loki and Sylvie, they're new, right? You're gonna put power into them anyway. So we're not talking about putting the power people, right, deviating from your building pattern. You're gonna be putting power into them anyway. So if you got other people that fall into that bracket, maybe that'll give you just enough to go ahead and grab your Phoenix. So that means anybody else that we haven't covered, the other 8 Asgardians are hero Asgardians, right? Looking forward to that. There's a lot of call outs in the game for hero Asgardians. We're going to see them, right? There's call outs for them in War. There's call outs to them in Scourge. So maybe we can put something together to get some stuff done. As we mentioned, hero Asgardians are called out directly for the War Scourge. So to get your Red Hulk. Again, we don't advocate going back and building old characters, but you have new characters that you can invest in. And so when the Scourge comes back, if it comes back, you can have yourself in prime position to score high and get some good stars on your Red Hulk. And since Red Hulk is the Horseman of War in Alliance War, hero Asgardians are used there as well. So can we find a way to maybe mix and match, put something together, hero Asgardian wise, to take effect in War and or Crucible? I think so. Let's take a peek at what we're looking at. So we'll start off with Val. She's in the game right now, and this is her ultimate move, Asgard's Last Stand. Notice the line number 3, it says apply 2 deflect, evade, death proof to self, all Bifrost and all hero allies. So all your hero Asgardians, or again, you can mix and match, bring other hero people. She's going to power them up with this, right? She's going to give them some buffs with this. It also says revive 2 dead allies with 40% max health, right? So in Rage, you get 2 more if they're Bifrost, but outside of Rage, you still get 2 with this move. And if you haven't seen the LVP video, go check him out, man. Go check that dude out. He is doing work right now with Vol in game. She is going to be a beast. She is not underperforming, my friends. This is going to be legit. This is a legit character. And so maybe with this character intact, we can flip some of the War and Crucible meta on its head. We'll do that by, again, putting in people around us. So we got Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie's passive Battle Maiden, right? You get that 50-50 for, it says hero Asgardians. It'll do it for self and all hero Asgardians. 50-50 chance if somebody dies to get that big boost in buffs. You get all those buffs, right? And on War defense, it's 100%. War defense is 100%. But on offense, it's still viable, right? It's still viable. You lose a character, you get buffed, you bring them back with Val. You see where we're going here? We're getting some of that old school BKT vibe. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting that old school BKT vibe. Also be mindful of Valkyrie's special, Valkyrie charge, right? Apply 2 counter, defense up for 2 turns, offense up 2 turns for self and all hero Asgardian allies. You're also going to get a stun out of that. So, right? You see the theory of crafting? We might be able to put something together here. Next up is the OG Asgardian Thor. They gave him a pump up back in the day, and he's still good, right? He's still good. He does things for Asgardians, period, right? They don't have to be hero. They don't have to be villain. He does things for Asgardians, period. Every time an Asgardian takes a hit, he gets a charge, maximum of 5. When he gets those 5, he drops the hammer. He puts the hammer down, doing good damage. Again, we can use that to our advantage. We just need somebody to take those hits, so enter Sif. She's the tank, right? So on war defense, if somebody drops below 50% health, she's going to taunt. Again, soaking up hits that way. But on offense, you can go ahead and trigger the taunt manually with a special. Shield Slam, right? Gain taunt, 3 counters, apply defense up to self and all hero Asgardians. So as long as she's taking hits, Thor's getting charged, and you're ready to lay that groundwork. In conjunction with that, you can use Beta Ray Bill. Now I know his kit isn't super impressive, but he is a tank, right? He can also manually taunt. He's going to stun somebody. He will give himself defense up and deflect to protect himself. And now we got that old school wave 1 Avenger flavor. Remember, it was Cap and Hulk would just taunt back and forth. So now you got Beta Ray Bill and Sif taunting back and forth, letting Thor get charged up. Vile is just going to be doing damage. Bro, I want to see this. I want to see how this is going to work. I'm curious to try it out. What do you think? Are you getting excited? I am. Not to be undersold is Bill's ability, Battleship Scuttlebutt. Right? It's going to do damage if he has 4 Asgardians, and it will flip all the enemy's positive effects into bleeds. Right? That's significant. I get it. The base damage of the ability might not be great, but flipping everything into bleeds, taking away all the enemy's buffs, that's not underrated, man. That's not to be undersold. Good things, I think, are ahead. In my mind, offensively, that's a starting 5. You got your 2 tanks, you got Thor, you got Valkyrie and Val. I think that's your starting 5. And then you can rotate somebody out for utility depending on situation. Now these 5, this would be for an offensive situation. But maybe you want to go a little bit more heavy on offense. Can you do that? Of course you can. Why would you settle for 1 Thor when you can have 2? And her passive, Goddess of Thunder from Mighty Thor, it says when this character or a hero Asgardian attacks an enemy, apply 1 charge to self and all chargeable hero Asgardians. So she's getting charged, Valkyrie's getting charged, Thor's getting charged for handing out offense. That's going to make Thor's move go faster. That's going to make Mighty Thor's move go faster. And notice it's at the top, it says in war, her charge event will apply trauma. It doesn't say offense or defense. It just says in war. So maybe somehow we can work that into the equation. Maybe there's another specialized situation. We could rotate in Heimdall. It said in war, doesn't say offense or defense. On his turn, he's going to give 2 billion energy to 2 random hero Asgardians that were not at full energy. So we know Val and Beta Ray Bill, they got long cooldowns. Maybe Heimdall can feed them some energy so they can go faster. Val's going to feed herself energy with the exposed, but hey, we have another opportunity here. But more importantly, the reason why the passive is impressive is because it gives you resistance against blind. So you can resist the Magneto ultimate in Death Seed. And I'm experimenting with it as we speak. I'm experimenting with it right now. I'm able to do a 200k punch up. I can't finish off Archangel, but this is just with the standard characters we have now. I can do 200k punch up, but I can't get through Archangel. So maybe Val will make the difference there. Along with that, he gives 100% accuracy, meaning you can hit Weaver, right? Asgardians on your team can hit a charged Weaver if you sub somebody out and throw in Heimdall. So I'm anxious to see. I'm anxious to see whether we can use this to our advantage or not. Oh, one more thing. We don't want to forget war defense down there. Hero Asgardians, they get buffs. If Asgardians in general get buffs, so maybe you can come up with some weird hybrid tank of a team on defense. Not as awesome as offense, but hey, it's there if you want to use it. Another utility character, Loki. So he's going to pump up Mystic Villain Controller speed bar, and especially when we think about some Asgardians. Again, as we said before, that's going to be him and Sylvie, mostly. The dynamic duo, we'll see how we learn to use them. Maybe they have a use outside of Rage, them two together. And as usual, if an Asgardian ally, right, doesn't have to be a friend or foe, hero or villain, it just have to be Asgardian. If they drop below 50% health, he's going to conceal them, he's going to cloak them, he's going to put them in stealth. So maybe we can find some longevity that way. And we can't forget about the good old-fashioned Loki mind control. Defense down for 2 turns. If Sylvie's there, it's going to be more damage. Loki did get a boost in stats, so we'll have to look and see how that affects gameplay going forward. And if it's on defense, he'll put a taunt on that enemy as well. But Loki's always been a favorite to kind of slide him in, see if we could do some things, make some stuff happen. So maybe with these tweaks and updates, that'll still be the case. And for good measure, we want to make sure we brought in Infinity War Thor. He has the Avenger tag, right? Most of the time he's going to be with the Nowhere team. You're probably not going to take him off there. If you do, he's got some big damage. This kit still has big damage for Asgardians, but he does have the Avenger tag. So again, for newer players, if you get this guy, you know, that can help in some of the earlier raids to get through these sections that ask for Avengers. Just want to throw that in there. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your day. It is hot out here, y'all. It is hot, but we still got out there. We still got that cardio win. We showered up, we got hydrated, and now we're back in the game. You guys take it easy. Take care of yourself and your family. Peace.